guys, my name's Imogen and I am a second year BA Geography student at the London School of Economics. For those of you who don't know me, if you do, hello and welcome back to the second part of my jobs. I guess you could call it a mini-series. It's kind of a two-parter. There's another video that I put up all about how to get a job at university. But today I've roped in the help of some of my friends. I really hope you find this useful. If you do, as ever, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel down below. But without further ado, let's jump into it.
Hi, I'm Jack. I'm a first year Environment and Development student at the London School of Economics. I work part-time in a pub. I'm sort of a bartender, clear up the glasses, do whatever.
Hi everyone, I'm Tasneem. I'm a second year BA Geography student at the LSE, and today I'm going to be talking about my first year summer internship experience. So last year during my first year at LSE, I knew that I really wanted to complete a summer internship because I really wanted something to do in the holidays. I also wanted to be in London and learn about an industry that I hadn't had the opportunity to explore before. So my internship last summer was in Lloyd's of London. Now, if you haven't heard of Lloyd's of London, Lloyd's is the biggest insurance market in the UK, and they write a lot of lines, and they write very big lines as well, insuring things like jewellery from celebrities and also cargo ships and their trade goods.
Hi, so my name is Maddie. I'm a second year BA Geography student and my job is a URF, which is a undergraduate research fellowship within the Geography and Environment Department at LSE. And this basically means I help academics with their research, but more specifically my role is the sub-editor of the Houghton Street Journal, which basically means any student's work that could get a really high mark can be published online onto a proper journal with references and abstracts, and then this can be used in other academics' work from outside of LSE, and it's a really good opportunity for students to have their work published and to show off a bit of what goes on within LSE. So I basically take any essay that's got a really high mark, look at it, see if it'll fit for the website, and then edit it and share it on the website.
Hi, my name's Imogen. I was going to do my whole YouTube intro, but you will have already seen that at the start of this video. My main job whilst I'm at university, because I have a couple of different ones, is working on the reception at my hall of residence. So I work there part-time. I'm not going to talk about my other jobs in this video just because they're not that interesting and I don't do that many hours per week. But yeah, that's my main role. So I answer the emails, I give out posts, I make key cards for people who have locked themselves out of their room, and they're my main responsibilities really.
Hi, I'm Eirlys. I am a first year biochemistry student and I go to Imperial College London. Now my kind of part-time job is that I'm a tutor, so I will help GCSE and A-level students with their studies. I tutor science, so biology and chemistry mainly, because that's what my degree's in. So I will help these students with anything from understanding content, going over exam questions, working on their exam technique, or even just kind of working on their confidence.
Hi there, my name's Tom and I'm a second year at the London School of Economics. I'm studying a BA in Geography. So my job actually is a little bit different. So I actually started my own business when I was 17. So this was kind of just after my A-levels got cancelled, and I've been like reading a lot and I basically had no idea of what to do apart from kind of gaming really with my friends. So I actually started this business called Personal Statement Support, where effectively what it began from was I was consulting my friends on personal statements, kind of editing them and talking to them about their personal statements, and realised I actually quite enjoyed it, which is a bit weird, I know. But I realised that I could kind of monetise this situation. So I actually kind of started this business where I would effectively just go through my friends' personal statements and charge them a little bit of money and see it as a little business. Then I kind of started a website and created social media platforms, etc. And now we're at the point where we've kind of helped and consulted with hundreds of students across the world, which is the best part about online business. So in terms of why I actually kind of started it, it was because I needed a little bit of money for kind of university life in London. And because of COVID, all normal industries like hospitality were completely closed off. So I thought this was kind of a really good opportunity.
Hi, I'm Katie. I study business and management with psychology at the University of Sussex, and I'm currently on my placement year, so the third year in a 4-year degree. And it basically involves working in a company in a role that's relevant to your degree. So I work in the Global Learning and Development Department for an organisation, and I'm basically involved in coordinating and managing the training that's put on for about 40,000 employees globally. Learning and development typically sits in HR, which links quite nicely to both the psychology and the business parts of my degree. But in my case, it's actually in operations, and that's probably more what I'd be interested in going into anyway once I finish my degree, so it works out quite well in that sense.
I guess the next thing people want to know is how many hours a week do you work, and if you know this, roughly how much do you make per hour?
The amount of hours I do a week really varies, so I could have 5 lessons a week all the way up to say 12, 13 lessons a week. It does depend on the time of year, so Christmas and summertime, i.e. exam seasons, are obviously the most busy. Now, one thing I will say is this does match up with university exam time, so when you're doing your own exams you do kind of have to give more time and effort into tutoring because people also want more help then. I tutor for 2 companies and I simply have like a profile on their website, and people will kind of contact me asking for help, and I will take home anywhere from around £12 all the way up to £24 an hour.
It's a full-time job, so I work Monday to Friday for about 8.5 hours each day, but that does include an hour-long lunch break every day. And I'm not entirely sure what the hourly rate is, but per month I get paid about £1,500, and for the placement in total I think it's about 19,000. So in comparison to being a full-time student, it's nice to be earning and saving money.
And in terms of kind of how many hours I work now, I would say it's really dependent, because obviously the industry I'm in, it's very seasonal. So near to deadline in January, I work so many hours because there's so many kind of messages from customers and demand in general for our services, which is great, but also slightly stressful trying to balance it with university, but there we go. So at that point I've got loads and loads of work, and then January goes and I actually focus on my university kind of life for a bit, so that's great, but it's really dependent.
So I either work 6 or 12 hours a week, depending on whether I'm doing 1 shift or 2 shifts a week. And my pay is £13.29 an hour, and that's kind of standard pay for LSE jobs. So also for my other roles where I work in the careers service or I work for the social media team, I also get the same amount of pay from those roles.
So I get paid £17.55 an hour, and I am contracted to do up to 70 hours of work. But this is a really flexible role, so I can do it whenever I want, and there's no set amount per week that I have to do. I do have a deadline in April for the first journal, so I'm working towards that at the minute.
I work about 10 hours a week, and my pay is quite bad, but it's quite an easy job. It's between £8 and £9.
The hours were around standard 9 to 5, and it was really nice being in the office half of the time, and it was also online half of the time, given the fact that it was quite a nice opportunity to ease into the world of work, especially after everything had been online, especially university.
The next question is, why did you actually want this role, and what is your reasoning behind having this job whilst you're at university?
Being a tutor is a really flexible job to have kind of in around your university studies, so it's all online. So I do it all through my laptop. I can do it if I'm at my accommodation, or if I'm on campus for the day, or if I've gone home or away for a weekend. You can kind of fit it in really anywhere and at any time. It's quite rewarding. You kind of will have a student for say like 6 months, and you will see them progress through the year.
I wanted to do a placement, I think, for a couple of reasons. Primarily because I thought it'd be interesting and useful to gain some insight into sort of how businesses operate in the real world, how they make decisions, and I suppose see in practice some of the theory that we'd studied as part of the degree. I also didn't know what I wanted to go into once I finished my degree, so it seemed like a good opportunity to have some exposure to different areas of business and hopefully either find something that I really liked, or at least discover that maybe I didn't like something so much, and therefore be able to cross it off potential options going forwards.
I guess one of the major perks of my job is that it's literally downstairs, so I don't have a commute to go to work, so it's really convenient for me. I also absolutely love to talk to people, hence why I have the channel. So that was another major benefit, is the fact that obviously working on a reception desk, you're constantly interacting with different people, and within my hall of residence, it's meant I've got to meet a lot more people, so it feels more like a community, and I know a lot of different people, which for me is really important.
I wanted to get a job because I just needed a bit of extra money to tide me over, and actually I really enjoy like having a bit of time. It's not to do with uni, and it's having my own thing with like different people and whatever.
It's really good for me in interviews. So if I'm in an interview, I can kind of talk about how I started my own business, and I've used social media and I've gained so many skills from it. I think that has got me opportunities that I wouldn't have got otherwise. And ultimately, I know I'm making an impact on people's lives kind of across the world, which is just like mind-blowing to me, and it's absolutely great. And also at the same time, I'm making a little bit of extra cash, which is obviously so important with university life.
I'm currently considering as an option a career in journalism, so it's a really good insight into the journalist industry and also gets me a bit more experience to see if it's something I really want to pursue. It's also really good for my degree because I'm seeing first class essays and editing them, so I'm getting a taste of what the uni are looking for within my degree.
I was learning so much every single day about insurance and also about myself, developing my interpersonal skills, for example, through the presentation that we delivered at the end of it, presenting our findings about climate change and insurance and also what we'd learned during our 8 weeks.
Hopefully my friends have convinced you that getting a job at university is worth it, and maybe you've got your eyes on one of the jobs that was mentioned in this video. But how do they actually get their jobs? I've asked them to explain this very briefly for you.
Starting your own business is a really kind of great thing to do. It's, as I said, it's great in interviews, great in your CV, and it teaches you so many skills that you wouldn't get otherwise.
Getting the job was quite an intense process, largely because when you apply for placements, you apply for quite a few all at once. It's not one by one, you're just applying to many different companies for many different roles. So for each one you'll be writing cover letters, preparing for interviews, having to do lots of thorough research about the companies and the roles, also while still doing a degree. So it's a lot, but it is worth it. For the one that I'm doing, the placement that I got, it actually wasn't too bad a process. I did the online application and then not long after I received a telephone call. So that was a sort of screening interview where they asked a few questions, just checking I understood what the placement involved, that sort of thing. And then they also asked a couple along the lines of examples where I'd analyse data. I think they also wanted to know how I'd be able to motivate myself if I had to work from home. Then after that, I got invited to an assessment centre, and the assessment centre consisted of an interview with my current line manager and his line manager, an in-tray activity, and also a group activity and presentation that the assessors observed. That took a few hours, and then a couple of weeks later I got the phone call offering me the job.
In terms of how I got my job, a lot of jobs that I've applied for at LSE come up on Career Hub, which is like our central university careers service. So if you're thinking of getting a job, definitely look on there. However, this one was actually emailed out to us by our Hall of Residence. So they just sent out an application pack, and then we filled in the application form, and I got an interview. I had an interview with my manager, and she said, yeah, we'd really love for you to work. And then I started. I had about 3.5 weeks of training before I was kind of allowed to be set loose on the desk on my own.
I got it. I was just sort of handing my CVs around to various pubs and whatever, and then this man just came up to me on the street and was like, do you want a job? I own a pub down that alley, and I was like, okay. So I went for an interview, and yeah, the rest is history.
I found this role through the geography department at LSE. They normally offer about 10 roles like mine every year, and they just email out, and then you apply, fill in a form, a bit about yourself and why you want to do the role, and then if you're lucky enough to be selected, then you'll get the role.
I got my internship through SEO London, that are a charity that really work to improve the diversity in the world of work, especially in the corporate world. For example, helping students from underrepresented backgrounds such as ethnic minorities. Last year, SEO London held insurance lunch and learns, which I attended, being able to network with individuals and representatives from the firms that they had partnered up with, also learning more about the day-to-day jobs that they do and the tasks that they complete.
And finally, would you guys say it is worth getting a job at university?
It's a really good side job to fit into your uni schedule.
I definitely recommend doing a first year summer internship, especially if you're not sure what you want to do after you graduate.
As I'm creating this video, you can probably guess that I'm going to say I would really recommend having a job at university. I explained all the reasons for this in the previous video, so if you haven't already seen that, do go and have a look at it. But yeah, it's really worthwhile, not only for the extra money that you get, but also the other benefits that having a job offers.
Yeah, I really recommend getting a job at uni.
I really recommend doing a placement if it's something that you're thinking about. Personally, I'm loving it.
So I would highly recommend starting your own business if you can. If you'd like to talk to me about it and got any questions, then please feel free. I'm sure Imi will leave some contact details somewhere.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you've enjoyed it. As ever, if you have, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel down below to see more similar content. A massive thank you goes out to all of my friends who have been in this video. I know you all have super busy schedules, and me pestering you about filming little clips for me is not exactly top of the priority list, so I really do appreciate it. I will leave all the contact details to those who want to be contacted in the description box down below, so if you'd like to reach out to any of the people about their roles in this video, then you can find details down there. Anyway, have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you next time with a new video. Bye!